Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to this week's live stream. I didn't even do that on purpose. Live stream. I am saying hi, Paul.
Talked about this.
And this is Crimson.
Hello. They all know who I am.
They all know who you are.
Crazy redhead.
The occasional arm in shot.
The occasional arm.
Shot, yes. So, 2023. Can it be 3 years since this time in 2020? Yes, it can. That's what 20 plus 3 means.
Oh my gosh. So old.
We're starting as we needs to go to mute, and this needs to go to mute. Need to mute stuff.
Yeah, it's all gone to pot. We've practiced this. It's all gone wrong.
Yeah. So
at no point did we say we were going to do that.
Do what? I didn't go. I went.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. I'd never do the other one. Not since I was like a lot younger. And know better. No, I don't do that. You know me better than that. So
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! And all that good stuff. So we're on a low cognitive brain function wave that we are riding,
easing it in
with a surfboard made of plywood.
We're easing in, aren't we? We're taking it steady. We're easing in.
Easing in. And the quality of the ramble may be more ramble than quality.
As usual. No change there then.
As a result, harsh. That's...
I meant from me, not from you.
Oh.
It's not Halloween yet.
It's not what? With a who?
Ooh.
Oh, right. Okay, so that little symbol's changed. Why has it got another little thing? I don't know. YouTube's changed something, and it's disconcerting me. It's messing with my chi, man. It's messing with my chi.
Your chi?
Yeah. But then again, if I was that bothered about my chi, I'd move this ink cartridge that's sat there since June. My chi can't be that bad. So, what do we normally ramble about? So, there's what's been going on Hobby World since last week we streamed, and they said vlogged again. Since last we streamed in our Hobby Worlds, plural. And then there's what is the subject of the ramble. We might gloss over that one and just head straight into pure uncut ramble. And then questions. So I've got Discord open to my right, and my glamorous assistant will be capturing questions from Chatland.
There's going to be loads on this chat, isn't there?
Oh yeah,
Mick.
Yeah.
Mick.
Oh,
Miss Mick.
Mick the Machine has super chatted. Thank you very much. So welcome back, guys. Glad to see you both back on the big screen.
Aww.
I guess that depends what kind of screen you're actually. What kind of screen you're actually watching it on? I mean, I might be on a little.
Have you got us on a big one? Are we on a big one?
I think we're on the telly.
On his telly.
I think we're on the telly on the wall. Yeah.
Mick, yeah. That's really good.
I know.
I know.
Don't be daft.
Don't want my face on big screen.
Don't be daft. Don't be daft.
Tonight I'm not dressed.
What she means is she hasn't got makeup on. She is very much dressed.
Oh yeah, clothes. Look.
Well, one sleeve. I mean.
Yeah, it's not just that sleeve. There is a whole body at this side.
It's like one of those archery things where it's just the sleeve and some straps. the rest of it. It's sort of like
This is what he dreams about, people.
It's
This
like
is what he
witch
dreams
elf.
about.
It's like
This
witch
is
elf armor.
This is a small insight into Paul's dreams for everyone out there.
Just give me a minute.
Move on.
Need a minute.
Weirdo. We talked about this moronic attitude.
Who are you calling attitude? So, what?
The screen's compensating.
What? What do you think? The screen's
Moog's comment. Moog's on form.
Oh, right. Okay. So, what has... Oh, Murph has...
Murph, are you okay?
It's coming thick and fast.
Murph, I've been worried about you. I've been worried.
Murph says, Happy New Year, Paul. Did you get a Crimbo hobby haul? And if so, spill the beans. And Wolf Corgi Man for 16 months says, Tiny screen here, you're practically a dwarf.
First time for everything.
Indeed. So I need to... Do we write those down for the end, or do I do them now?
You do them now, these
I
ones.
do them now, okay.
Well, you do them all now.
It's been a while.
But we say thank you at the end,
okay.
obviously, because we're very, very grateful.
Got it. Did you get a Crimbo hobby haul? And if so, spill the beans. Well, hobby-related stuff...
It don't matter whether it's Christmas or not, Murph. It makes no difference. All blends into one.
I think the hobby-related stuff that occurred at Christmas, I think my parents bought me a little mini fridge, the purpose of which is to have cold Coca-Cola whilst I'm doing hobby stuff, which is very cool.
Because if anybody's been here and been in the garage, it is sweating hot after they've been in there for about 10 minutes.
And the flatulence, dearie me, makes your eyes bleed.
I think the fridge might blow up.
Yeah.
You need to be careful with that. Yeah.
And hobby-wise, you got some D10, didn't you, for playing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay?
I did. Yeah, we've started playing the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. I can never remember the name of it. But yes, we've... So there's now going to be a mini fridge, Mick, so you can bring whatever you like.
Well, it's got enough room for 6 cans, or more specifically, 6 of my cans.
Listen, I'll tell you something, Moog. If there was a Coke involved anywhere in this, people would be, I don't know, concussion.
I was going to say it would create a dangerous pressure scenario.
Whoosh.
Yeah.
It's a bit like when button comes off your tight trousers. Oh, it wouldn't be kind.
No.
And I can't fill in that much paperwork.
No, there'll be a lot of paperwork.
Yeah, risk assessments.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think the rest of the haul was largely non-hobby related. There was an amazing Cards Against Star Wars game from this one.
Cards Against Star Wars,
that was awesome.
Which we're looking forward to playing with the next person that comes round.
So there was hobby stuff purchased shortly before Christmas and over Christmas, and I got the impulse to I've emptied eBay of a lot of the Stormcasts that are on eBay. I shook it upside down. I'm like, that one. So I picked up the Squiggle-Lanch boxed set. That's in the pile now, and a couple of other bits. But I've had a revelation on Stormcast Eternals, which I'll save till later on. So what else? What else has happened, or what has happened hobby-wise since last time? Well, we did. For those of you who've been watching the hobby vlog, well, I guess there's a few things really, because it's not been much time since I made the decision to stop doing members-only content and just do all about the regular YouTubes, because that was in October or early November. I made that decision. So it's been a little while since some of the content has started to drip in. because we started filming a campaigny in November. The idea of which was to get it all filmed across one weekend. Number of things were learned, principally amongst which was easy. One of the biggest things I learned was that AOS is a lot quicker to play than 40k. So using AOS as my benchmark for how many games we could fit in, not good. It did not work. So we've got 3 episodes of that filmed already, and it's this coming weekend that the guys are coming around and we're going to finish the last 2 episodes. So we've had the first 2 of those drop. The first game far more successful than the second one. I was quite surprised. The first one was a 3-way game between Imperium, Tau, and Tyranids. Well, technically G-Stealer cults, but they're Tyranids as far as I'm concerned. That went really well. The idea is to just regular as clockwork, drop a battle report every other week. Excuse me, and then fill in with there'll be a hobby vlog, a hobby vlog every month. So I did like a November hobby vlog. I just put live the December hobby vlog, which was nice. Haven't done any work on the January one yet because January's been a bit crazy so far. I've hit a snag.
The second game was a bit stop. It's already dead.
It's a Simpsons reference. There's it's a Simpsons reference. For people who haven't seen it, it's an interesting outcome. For people who have seen it, ha 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 ha. So yeah, we're doing episodes 4 or 5 this weekend.
I'm just going to say we're filming more this weekend.
Yeah, I'll do 2 more. The last 2.
Yeah.
So yes, the idea is a battle report every other week and and filling in with other things. So a hobby vlog a month, and then there might be other random bits and bobs in between, as well as the GW review stuff, which normally drops on Saturday, which is, I'm sure you were aware of this by now. Saturday 10 a.m. tends to be the embargo time, or at least it's been the unembargo time for everything I've had thus far. So that's a bit of a tradition. And the idea as well with the battle reports is, well, I don't know that I'm strictly going to stick to this, but I'm sort of doing little groups of them together. So this was a 5-episode 40k campaign. The next one is going to be the first section of the Siege of Excelsis. I don't think I'm going to run it in one long thing, because I think it'd be all the battle reports for about 8 months. So that wouldn't leave much time for other things in between, or for 40k, or for any of that. So I'm going to do it in a number of chunks. And the first chunk will start to hit mid-February and run for probably about 5-6 episodes. Then I'll switch probably to something 40k related. Don't know what. I have a hankering to do something orc related, but not sure. Not sure. Because it kind of was doing one every other week means I'm doing 26 a year, and as I'm starting to get a little bit more back into it, I'm sort of thinking, that's not a lot. I used to do sort of 75 with my eyes closed. And by with my eyes closed, I mean I was unconscious through fatigue. I was doing them in a fugue state. Like, roll some dice. It died. What did? Magnus. Magnus isn't on the table, Paul. Well, that one there, the one stood next to Magnus. The grot. Yeah, stood next to the other grot. Yeah. This must be Mortarium. No, I've cul-de-saced myself.
Kev!
Hey, Kev.
Kev has made it.
what I don't know what'll happen if I end up doing like other battle reports I want to do, and I've got a backlog that I want to put out sooner because some of them have time criticalities. I don't know. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Maybe I'll drip some of them out in other orders. I don't know. So how did I segue to that? Yes, segued from the hobby vlog. Finally finished those Gargants. I mean, it was a 1,500 point batch, and boy, was that a mistake. But I'm pleased with the outcome. Haven't got to use them yet. I'm going to do some solo hammer with them. I'm going to do a solo hammer game with the Gargants versus the Astra Templars. But the more I've dug into the Stormcast lore and structure and organization, the more I have realized that my Astra Templars army isn't narratively great. So there are a few tweaks I need to make to it before I feel I can use it. And I've actually had a table set up to play that game for a while, and some circumstances have got in the way, and I haven't ended up doing it. And it's going to go to waste, that table, because I'm going to have to change it for 40k this weekend. So, which is a shame. But yeah, I got a little few more model things to do for that. Then that'll be some solo hammer, which I'm looking forward to. But finally finish the Gargants. Then I thought, right, I will just quickly knock out the rest of this free guild regiment in order to then start on some Gloomspite gets, because Crimson did a lot of assembling of Gloomspite for me. But then Christmas didn't get a lot of painting time. I haven't had a lot of painting time for about 6 weeks, and I'm attributing it all to Christmas and fatigue and distracted onto other things and other stuff. No,
if you would like to go to those.
Yep, I've no idea what I was about to just say, so go for it.
I thought you might have been just so
step
in there.
You're very intuitive. You've got the skills. Yeah, you've got the skills.
Yeah, well, comes with a job. Okay, so we've got I think it's either the Koala's brown or the colourless brown. I'm not quite sure which it is. But anyway, got a couple of questions. What do you think about Arks of Omens?
What do I think about Arks of Omens? I think it's all right. I've only seen one of the books, and I didn't have it in me to do a review of it. And that wasn't because of the book; that was to do with other things. I didn't massively dig into the narrative. It's kind of feels kind of a bit like how to do Kill Team with 40k, but sort of somewhere between the two is kind of how it feels. The books. Well, there were two main takeaways. I thought 2, 3. There were some takeaways from it. It was a rule set for a different way of playing 40k. What it didn't have in the book was the thing that many of us in the hobby had complained about in previous supplements from GW. Previous supplements had like a page of rules for this army, a page of rules for that army. So forcing you to buy a 30 quid book to get one page of rules to stay up to date with all of the with your army. It did not have that. There are no rules for factions in that respect in that book, which is great. So I hope that's a. Sorry, I've been listening to some Skaven. I assume hope that is GW listening to to that. So there's no begrudging need to buy it to keep your army current. It is a discrete set of rules for playing 40k in a certain way. From what I remember reading them, it was it didn't seem particularly complicated. It wasn't a sort of. There was a certain point in 8th Ed where everything was just needlessly complicated and a lot of admin. It seemed like it made everything a lot of effort to try and play the game. It didn't feel like that. It felt moderately straightforward, few tweaks, few changes in order to create a different game effect. So from that point of view, it sounded and looked quite good. One thing I'm not sure about is it's sort of 40k typically has had two over its tenure has had two main ways of the rules having been constructed. One is that individual models make a difference, and you have to a shot from a model killing a model in another unit might force that unit to fall back or has an attritional effect later on in the game, and individual actions are quite significant. That's one way the game has been constructed. The other way the game's been constructed, which is much more akin to the way 9th Ed plays, is it is volume of dice and a lot more.
Oh, sorry.
That's quite all right.
I'm kneeing your arms.
I've put on a huge amount of weight, so I need to move around in the chair quite a bit. Although not doing too badly at being better this year, but that's a totally separate thing. I had one sandwich for my lunch today.
Just the one?
The one.
Did you have anything to accompany it?
Oh, the bag of quinoa crisps, the low-fat quinoa crisps.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
Yeah. I digress. We haven't done what you've been doing hobby-wise.
Right. You carry on while you're on your, you're on a roll.
Okay. The other is weight of dice. Things are much more abstract. So you've got 40 shots with your Marines, and there's a load of Orcs, and actually to have any real appreciable effect, you've got to wipe them out, and armor is pretty useless, and cover doesn't always matter because you take casualties from wherever you want, etc., much more abstract. Both have their strengths and weaknesses, benefits and the opposite of benefits. But what they're kind of doing is kind of it's sort of halfway between the two. So you've got models that can only be killed if they're within line of sight of the firing unit. So if you've got two models sticking their head out, then in the every model counts version of 40k, they might have 5 shots incoming, and their armor, and they might not wound them very easily depending on the relative strength toughness, and the armor might save. Whereas in this version of 40k, in the current version, that will be it'll stick its head out and just be obliterated. So, but equally in the and I can't remember, so I might be talking garbage, but I don't think they've amended the morale system in Arks of Omen. I'd have to check. So you kill two models, nothing's going to happen to the unit, more or less. Whereas in the old style, you kill the two that have stuck their heads out, the rest of them might back off, and that make a difference to the ebb and flow. So I'd be interested to see how it actually plays, but it felt like a system that wasn't too heavy on new rules, seemed to have referential integrity amongst itself, and doesn't require you to buy it in order to play it. One person can have it, and you're not disadvantaged. You don't all need a copy for your army or buy their own individual bits. So I think Yeah, moderately positive about it, I think. I have no idea what's in the other books. We shall see. But as I said, I wasn't able to do a review on this, occasion. That was one question, was it? Was there another one?
Yeah, there was another two.
Another two.
There was another two. So when are you gonna do boarding actions? Bat reps, and then Moog followed it up by saying that boarding's only just come out.
Yeah, so it was
the same question from the same guy, but and also. Are you doing any more 40k? Are you leaving 40k for a little while, or
there will be more 40k. My preference is towards AOS at the moment. I'm really enjoying the lore. I'm enjoying the models, and I find the game a lot of fun to play. I find 40k a lot of effort to play, and I find I have to put a lot of effort into it to actually have some fun. I have to hunt for the fun. All right, what garbage rules do I need to ignore? How does this affect that? Affect this? Affect that? Affect that? I think, right, I've got all that together in my head. Do you know what? This army is completely unplayable. Let's try another one. So I'm not off 40k entirely. It's definitely the secondary game to AOS, which is my primary game at the moment. Things ebb and flow and change with time. That will not stay the same, I'm sure, because I love the 40k universe. There are a lot of things about 40k I love. A lot of things I'm less keen on. Am I going to do any boarding action battle reports? Probably not. I'm thinking at the minute that maybe the next 40k thing I do will be another mini series that I may only film rather than playing. I don't know. The one that's running at the moment is one that I filmed and not played in. May do that. I have a hankering to do something orc related, but have got no plans further than that. I want to sort of interspace sort of AOS 40k, but it's more likely that the 40k things will be small and the AOS things will be big because I'm loving AOS. I tried to do a short on YouTube at the weekend. As far as I was aware, the criteria for shorts were they had to be less than a minute. And the amazing James from March of War has painted Kragnos for me for the Siege of Excelsis campaign that's going to be kicking off in February. And I wanted to do a YouTube short to get lots of views on it. But I was unsuccessful. It came up as a regular video. So it's just a very short movie. Me going, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. Yeah. So how about you? What hobby stuff have you been doing since we last did? Because we skipped this bit. We come back to it. What's your hobby stuff been like since we last live streamed?
It's been a bit hit and miss with Christmas, to be honest, trying to fit everything in. So I brought you and finished you off all the grots and left you with all of those, didn't I, before Christmas?
Yeah, I got 100 grots to paint.
100 grots, yeah. So left you with those.
I wonder if I could do them in a single batch.
Yeah, we should probably sit together and do them in a batch. You do one thing, I'll do another. So so
we just hibernate for a weekend.
So yeah, there was lots.
Once painted 100 zombies in a batch.
Did you? Well, yeah. So I did that, and then I've got what have I got downstairs that I've half built tonight whilst waiting for you to come in?
Oh,
a Troggoth.
Fellwater Troggoth.
Fellwater Troggoth. That's half done downstairs.
They're great. One of them's waving a fish, and another one's vomiting. They're great.
They've got it all going on. So so I've half done that downstairs, and I think that's probably been a bit of things in between, but nothing specific because it's just been so busy.
Well, you've had a new toy to play with as well, haven't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got and Mick, you'll appreciate this. Mick Moog, you'll appreciate this. A new mixer. Now, I know that this sounds very boring to you guys out there, but let me just tell you, this was like amazing when I opened it. You know, like that amazing little bit of wee comes out. That amazing. Can I say wee on here? Well,
yeah.
I just did. So it's that amazing. So I have got this new mixer, which is fabulous. So I've been giving that a whirl or 2 or 3 or 4, you know, practicing. And I'll be giving it a whirl this weekend as well. So anyone that's popping along, more cakes, more cakes incoming. I made some lovely cakes. So yes, I've been doing that. But yeah, the hobby stuff, it's kind of took with your parents coming and stuff. It's took a bit of a back seat, hasn't it? So, but yeah,
which it always does this time of year.
Yeah.
I have to say, I was lamenting not taking last week off because my normal pattern is the Christmas week doing all the family and social stuff. Then after New Year, week off to go and chill out and paint and stuff, but couldn't do that with where my contract's at the minute.
Yeah, so there's been all of that, and obviously I'm still job hunting at the minute as well. So that's kind of took a bit of a back seat at Christmas as well. But yeah, and then it was my birthday. My birthday's at Christmas for anybody that doesn't know. Not on Christmas Day, but very near Christmas. So it's just been a bit busy, hasn't it? But looking forward to getting back into it, because there's plenty of times, I don't know about you guys, but there's plenty of times where I think I could do something and then I get it out and get ready and then something happens and I have to put it away. So I've been waiting for a substantial amount of time to sort of get everything out. And
that's why I like having things in an out state, so I can just pick them up and put them down. But
we've not got houses that allow that.
I know.
So yeah, so I've that's what I've been doing. Christmassy stuff and a few grots.
And a few grots. So what else? I mentioned the Free Girl stuff that I was painting. That's another batch. They're about halfway through. Well, they're more than halfway through. They look more than half finished, but they're probably about half the effort. I've still got a couple more colours to do. Then they need a drown in what's it called? Agrax. Then basin and all that shebang. Which a number of times I say, I'm going to do that on that such and such today. Do that on such and such today, and it's just it's not happened. And I've chosen to do other things instead. Like this week, we were role playing on Saturday, and I thought I'm going to paint on Sunday, and I spent all day on Sunday instead. Sat with all my books, spending my ill-gotten gains on my new character. I was adding like an oil slick machine to my car and stuff. We gamed it, like you said, we gamed, didn't we? I was like, we did Shadowrun. We did a Shadowrun on Saturday. And I don't know whether it's just me that's out of practice or I'm just getting really old. But how tired were we? It was pathetic, really, to be fair. We were so tired, weren't we? Uh-huh.
Yeah, I couldn't even eat my curly whirly. It was that bad. It was that bad. I nearly had to let someone feed me my curly whirly. It was terrible.
Well, by that point, we've been playing for 15 hours.
Yeah, we had.
So.
And oh god.
I know.
Yeah.
I felt it more yesterday.
Yeah.
It wasn't so bad on Sunday, but yesterday at work, I was like, jeez.
Yeah.
I don't know, IV caffeine line.
We were either getting old or we were just out of practice.
Yes.
to both of them.
I haven't played a game of War. I think I've played one game of Warhammer in about 6 months.
Really?
Myself, yeah.
We've just got a question on there from Lee. I've just gone over it. But Lee B says, are you looking forward to 40k 10th edition? What changes would you like to see? Good question.
Okay. So, we could be here a while.
I said top three.
No. I've got it. I've got this. So I could go through all the rules and sort of say, I don't like this, I do like that, I don't like this, I do like that. And I could sort of list off a bunch of things I would want to change. But fundamentally, the core rules aren't like they are a complaint, and I do complain about them quite a lot. But I'm in the very, very fortunate position of having the YouTube channel that I do and having an element of popularity, and people want to come and play games with me. Then like-minded people who want the rules to make sense. So I'm fortunate in that if there are any core rules I really don't like, I can just house rule them, and we don't have to play them, and I'm not badly affected by them. The thing, I mean, I could list off a bunch of stuff I would like to see change. I mean, the few things that instantly come to mind is the cap on plus and minus ones rolling over. I'd like to see that change. I'd like to see the strength toughness going back to how it used to be. So 2 above was 6s and 2 below was 2s. I think that would resolve a lot of the problems with the core mechanic. I could go on with a number of things I would really want to see change, but as I said, I can house rule those. The thing that makes it really hard for me to play the game is how difficult it is to, effectively, I'm a casual player from a 40k perspective. Now, that may make some of your jaws drop when you've seen the amount of armies I've got and so on. But it's because of the amount of armies I've got and the different projects I have going that mean that I come to each army on a relatively infrequent basis. A lot of players have 1 or 2 or 3 armies, and they play every week using the same army or armies. They might, in a month they might get 2-3 games with one army, and you get very used to how it all works, and the level of complexity that's involved can stay in your head. I know from playing Winters of not too distant past with his Necrons and his 13th. He's got certain units, and he knows how they work, and he uses them in different combinations, different scenarios, has lots of fun, but he knows them inside out. And that element of complexity is abstracted away because he has so much practice with them. As a casual player, or as somebody who plays a given army on an infrequent basis, every time I come to play, I come to work out how to play the army again. Now, in AOS, this is one of the things that attracts me to AOS so much, is in AOS there is a section which is battle traits, command traits, battle traits. One section that says these are the special rules for your army. Every rule is either on the unit card or on this 1, maybe 2, occasionally 3 pages. And then here are your warlord traits, here are your spells, here are your relics. And it's all on a couple of pages, and it's dead simple. It's not to say that it's any less narrative or characterful, but it's really straightforward. When I come to a 40k codex, I have to look in one part of the book for the generic army stuff, another part of the book for the things that apply to battle-forged armies. Then there are numerous special rules and stratagems, and they cross-reference each other in a way that is they reference each other in a way that means you have to have a significant amount of familiarity with them in order to use each one. You need to know that you want to use it to be able to. I don't know what good way of putting it. You might have a thing that says units with this keyword have this benefit, or units with that keyword do this thing. But which units have this keyword isn't something that's necessarily straightforward. You have to go to all the different pages and try and find them. Does this have it? Do they have it? Do they have it? And working out what an army can do is a big exercise of cross-referencing data and keeping a lot of things in your head. And to casual players, I think that's a barrier. And to people who... It doesn't add anything to me, to the game, to have all those different things in there. When 8th Ed came out and the indexes had everything is on the page, that was great. Then you had 8th Ed codices, where you had, here's a page or two of special stuff, but then everything else is in your book. And the stratagems were pretty straightforward, and they were characterful and narrative and so on. But 10th Ed, with pages and pages of stratagems that are pretty convoluted, and you have to understand the whole book in order to work out where and when you can apply them. They have this weird categorization that doesn't seem to actually achieve anything apart from some very obscure scenarios. Stratagems that don't do the weird characterful things that the armies could do, but do just an extra, here's a way of getting an extra hit on the roll of a 6, or here's a reroll, here's a this, here's a that just are effectively statistical manipulations to the dice roll rather than something really cool. I find that sucks the fun away. So you used to have things like in the old Orc Codex, you used to have grot shields. You used to have loot it, where after a vehicle exploded, boys could rip metal pieces off and armor themselves with it. There were a bunch of others in the Orc book that, when I came to use them relatively recently, just weren't there anymore. Boarding action, I think, was one. So well, that was a real sideways ramble I went on there, total tangent. But that's what I want to see in 10th Ed, isn't necessarily the core rule set. I mean, I could wax lyrical about what I want from the core rule set, but if I got nothing else, I would want books that are more intuitive, that I don't have to retain a lot of information around cross-referencing in my head in order to use. That's what I want.
Do you want to know what Mick thinks?
Yes, I want to know what Mick thinks.
Always want to know what Mick thinks. 10th edition needs less. I'm going to say silly rules. He didn't say silly, but I'm going to say silly rules. Okay. More balance, less stats, more narrative, and more fun.
Yeah.
That's what Mick thinks. Yeah. And Lee B as well. We've just been talking about sort of his feelings on. I've just sent him a message actually. So each army has far too many stratagems in his opinion. But like we always say, it's about playing what you enjoy playing at that time, you know, and you won't have fun playing anything that you don't want to play at that time. I'm not making any sense.
You are.
It's following your muse. We always say, don't paint what you've got to paint what you want to paint, because you'll make a really good job of that. And I've very often thought, really ought to paint that, but really want to put that together. And then the going together is always better. So I just think it very much depends on how you feel at the time. Follow your muse. That's just my little input there. I just thought.
Yeah.
Sullivan Gilbert says, feels similar in having 4 armies in the whip pile, but I only have decent familiarity with one of them. So this is the one that he plays and that he really invests the time in. So,
and that's the thing.
Yeah. But that is the advice that I got when I first started playing, is play an army till you know them really well, and then you'll get the best of knowing what you feel a bit more comfortable in trying different things, don't you?
You do.
So that was a bit of advice I got at the beginning that was really good.
And part of that, when you're a brand new player, is that helps teach you the rule system, the core rules, as well as the rules for your army.
Kind of thing. Yeah. And it really did work for me. So my problem is I'm just scared now to play anything else. But I will get over that.
We need to play more.
We do need to play more. Yeah.
Oh, you were done?
I'm done. Yeah,
You're done.
I'm done speaking. Sorry, I'm done speaking.
Right.
Yeah.
There's not much on the Discord. In fact, there's like 2 or 3, and they're mostly covered. There's one on here from Moog. Where's the best place to get a Starship deck battle mat? The one I quite like is by Deep Cut Studios, and it's a Space Hulk battle mat. It's lots of sort of overlapping panels, and that's pretty cool. The Chemzone one from GameMat.eu is kind of deck-like, albeit with some patches of glowing ick. You can put scenery on those. If you cover most of those up, then the deck, it's pretty spaceship-like. Beyond that, I'm not sure. I haven't looked for new battle mats for quite a while for a couple of reasons. One, the table nearly collapsed under the strain. The other is, largely, I've got the majority of things I want to represent on battle mats. There are a few things that I have in the back of my mind I could add at some point. I kind of want to have a sort of... There's a dark and purple one, which I think can make a lovely background for Shaiish. So when I am... when I'm doing some Shaiishi stuff, I might pick that up. So I haven't done much from a battle map perspective. James Wood, member for 22 months. Hey, Paul, what is your next Age of Sigmar army? So, next Age of Sigmar army implies one that I've not already got playable. What would it be? No, I've got some of those. After a lot of the GUR stuff, a lot of the Excelsis stuff is done, I would move on to either Chaos or Death at that point, I think. And if it were Death, I think I would be building a Soulblight Gravelord's army in conjunction with an Anvils of the Heldenhammer army. So sort of 2 sides of the Death coin, I think. Or possibly it would be Slaves to Darkness and Hammers of Sigmar, same sort of thing. But because most of what I'm filming probably this year is going to be set in GUR for Siege of Excelsis, then probably one of those. I'm not sure. I'm unfortunately going to have to take a break. You're going to need to entertain for a moment.
Gosh. All right. Okay.
I need to pop out for a couple of minutes.
Okay, fair enough. Make sure it's a couple of minutes. I'm not that good at talking.
I know.
And I can't come on camera because I'm not dressed.
I barely hear a peep out of you.
That's a good question, Mick. I will pose that question when he comes back. I don't know about you, but I just am amazed at. We've got quite a few membership chat comments that are coming through. I am here, by the way. Membership chat comments. 13 months, 16 months, 22 months, like 26 months. Mick's being a member. That's amazing. I mean, I've done some channels sort of in my time, but this is probably one of the longest ones that I've seen going. It's really, really good. And as I say, I have helped out on other channels before, so this is it's really, really good. So does anybody want to ask me anything? You have to put it in chat within reason, obviously. But yeah, I am happy to answer any questions just while he comes back. No? Yes? No? No? Yeah, Mick. I've had relationships that haven't lasted like 2 months, even 2 weeks, a couple of days in some instances. So, what type? That is a brilliant question, Moog. Moog, what type would you like? That is the question, because I am happy to oblige whatever you'd like with my new mixer, because you're going to be impressed when you see it. Let me tell you, it's magnificent. Oh, it's mainly been on kids' ones, Mick. It's mainly been on kids' channels. Neve had a go at, my niece had a go at one once, and so I was sort of involved in that and looking at other bits. But it's mainly been for kids. I've never done. I use adults loosely, not wanting to offend anyone, but I do use adults loosely because we're all absolutely balmy. I don't think any of us like adults, to be fair, which is how it should be. So 26 months, Mick. Crikey. All right. So, okay. So just cake flavour. You're not fussy then, Moog. Cake flavour. So I'll ask Paul this when he comes back. Would it be possible to get a video ramble from you on how to make yeah? I will definitely ask him that when he comes back. Lemon. Yeah, we'll wait till he comes back for that one. Sorry, I'm being distracted by cake. So I think Moog's a lemon curd bakewell sort kind of guy. Lemon curd. Do you like? Is this true, Moog? Because if I bring it and then you tell me it's a load of rubbish and you don't like it, look how good I were then. And you don't like it, what will I do? Are you winding me up, Mick? You see, and I've only met you I've met you loads of times now, but you see, I know when you're messing. Are you allergic to lemon curd or something? Are you gonna go but I do. Oh, it does like lemon curd. You're not gonna stop breathing or anything silly like that, are you? Because I don't think I'm ready for mouth to mouth after making cake. You know, I'm not ready for that. Lemon drizzle with lemon curd in the middle. I like your style. What's your favourite cake? While Paul's just popped out, what's your favourite cake, everybody? I never get to ask that when he's here. So yours is lemon drizzle. Major ring string. Oh, does he? Oh, mix better half. Makes lemon curd bakewell tarts. Oh, just while Paul's not here as well, thanks for all the oh, I like a carrot cake. Thanks for all the gifts and cards. It was really, really lovely. So thank you all for those. I really, really appreciate it. And I had a really nice gift from, I won't say because it might embarrass him a little bit, but I had a really lovely gift, and it was nothing that you shouldn't talk about on here, but it was a poinsettia. And I don't know whether anybody knows, but my mum passed away a couple of years ago, and she used to buy me a poinsettia every Christmas. And I've never had one since. And then somebody from the channel, one of our guys, bought me a poinsettia. It was lovely. I'm just talking about my poinsettia, Paul, and saying how lovely it was to get poinsettia. And we're talking about cake. Dundee cake. Oh, I've never thought about Dundee cake. Mint chocolate or black forest cake? Yeah. Feet. Yeah, mint chocolate. Yeah.
Feet.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about cake. carrot cake. And my lovely poinsettia.
Your poinsettia?
Yeah, that I got for Christmas from one of the guys on the channel. Really lovely. And Commander Autism's better half, she made us a card, didn't she? Which was fabulous.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Made us a card, a 40k card, which was great. I'm good. Yeah, Battenberg. I'm all right at a Battenberg. I'm all right at that. Yeah. Anyway, it's back to you. I'm just talking cake.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yes. Sorry about that.
That's
The
quite
plant.
right.
It was the plant. Yeah, it was the plant. The poinsettia's a plant. It was red.
Oh!
It was
I couldn't get.
Absolutely gorgeous. Ah.
I thought it was a dog.
Beautiful red.
Isn't poinsettia a dog?
That's a red setter.
I'm sure poinsettia.
No, poinsettia's a plant. And it's bright red, like this red. Well, darker than this red. But I love red and I love poinsettias. So that was one of my favourite gifts. Yeah, it was beautiful.
What? Not a dog then?
No, red setter. Oh, pointer.
Pointer.
But not poinsettia.
Poinsettia. Right, it's a cross. Oh, that's a new breed.
It's a new breed.
It's a new breed.
Poinsettia, a red setter, and a pointer.
A poinsettia.
Oh, we've created our own breed.
I wonder if.
Patent it quick.
Quick. Right. Red setter and pointer cross breed. No. Didn't instantly show up, therefore.
Okay. There's been some super chats.
Oh, there's been I missed a super chat. Oh, I do apologise.
Yeah.
This one.
Who's it from?
SDF Goodall.
Yeah.
Okay, so SDF Goodall super chatted. Hey, Paul, if you could one thing to move on the 40k lore canon, what would you do? Okay, it would be around the Fall of the Eldar. The Fall of the Eldar was never originally when the Eye of so the Fall of the Eldar was to do with the Eye of Terror, but it was never around the end of the Age of Night. So that previously the Fall of the Eldar was way back, but then it was retconned to be actually that was just when just before all the Great Crusade started. So like when you've got the Eldar kicking about trying to prevent the Horus Heresy, they'd supposedly that was like a couple of 100 years post fall, which does not fit whatsoever with any of the other Eldar lore. So I say nuts to that, and that should be changed and made more right again. That.
Okay, we've got a membership chat as well from James Wood, 22 months.
Oh,
there as well. Do you want me to read it? Or you got it? Hey Paul, watch. You got it? Yeah.
Hey Paul, what's your next Age of Sigmar? I can't answer that.
Oh, sorry. Was that just before
that was just before.
Right.
I was visited by Grandfather Noggle.
Okay. Is that like Father Christmas?
Very much not.
Oh.
Very much the opposite. Takes things away, doesn't give them.
We've got one there from Mick as well. You didn't read that one, did you? That must be the one that I was thinking of.
Okay. Make the Machine. What's the up-to-date total army count at now? If you're going to ask silly questions, then you shouldn't expect sensible answers. It's somewhat like I know exactly how many it is. I mean, who knows how many armies they've got? I think it's somewhere between 55 and 60,000. No.
Count them next time you come, Mick. Give them a count. Honestly, I think he'll be surprised. I think there's more than that.
There's more.
Okay, all right. I'll count them for next time. It's so much. It's more than that.
It's not.
We should have a sweep. We should have a. What's everybody think? Everybody, let's do it. Let's do a sweepstake.
Should we work it out now?
No, because I'll go around and count them.
So, can you tell where one army starts and another one stops?
Yeah, of course I can. Do you not think I can, you little fake?
I am not convinced you'll get some of the nuances.
Okay. I'll count them with Mick later when it comes round. Not letting you do it. You'll fib.
I won't. If I'd fibbed, I might have said, "Oh, it's 20 odd. It's not a lot. It's not a lot."
Oh, there's a membership chat there as well
from Kevin.
Kev.
Happy New Year, Paul. Hope you have a good year. You too, sir. You too. All the very best.
And hope Chantal gets better soon.
What she said.
Me and Kev share a birthday.
No way.
We do. Next year we're going to celebrate it together. Going to go out and get drunk. What are you laughing at? Okay, I think. Well, wait. Oh, wait a second. I think there's another one there. Is there another one?
Okay, what are we?
There's one there from Moog as well. I just don't want to I don't want to miss anyone out.
Moog. What's the best way to waste a membership milestone? Question. Well,
is that a joke? What's the best way?
It is clearly a joke. However, I think the best way is to ask if I'm going to start playing Horus Heresy, because I must have been asked that about 40 times last year.
Yeah. Even I picked up on that.
To the extent that I almost got cue cards made. It's like, no, but why not? This reason.
You're guessing, Mick's guessing 79. Okay, so I'm writing this down for next time. Mick says 79. Right. Yeah, come over, Mick.
It might be written in the back of one of these things. Periodically, I get the urge to go to the back of a book and list them all out.
You're welcome to come over whenever you like, Mick.
So, for instance, the number is also a little bit subjective. So, for instance, I have, with my 40k orcs, I have Bad Moons, I have Death Skulls, I have Blood Axes, I have Bad Moons, I have all the others, Goths and Snakebites, and there's enough. Well, ignore the being built and painted side of things. There's enough to play an army for each one. There's an army's worth of each one. Now, is that one army, or is that 5? 6. That's a subjective question. Drakari. I have a Drakari army, but within that, I have a cult, a cabal, and a coven. Is that one army? Is it 3 armies? Is it 4 armies? You know, each individual army or the combination army. Again, it's subjective. Got 10 Chaos Legions. Are they one army because they're the Chaos Space Marines, or are they 10 because they're each an individual legion? Bit subjective. So there's a minimum number and there's a maximum number depending on how you interpret all the possible wibbly wobblies. Technical term there. Wibbly wobbly. Not willy wobbly, wibbly wobbly.
No, I'm just thinking of my curly whirly downstairs. Right. Not eating it yet. So there's 18.
It's about 45, 40k armies and about 20-ish AOS armies.
Yeah, Mick's guessed at 79. We've got no more takers yet.
He's too high. He's too high with that. Far too high.
You think?
I do add them up periodically. I just can't keep the number in my head. And I think some of the stuff I bought over Christmas might constitute a new army. So I'm not sure.
Whoa. Could be 79.
I don't know. Do we count your Head Knights of Slaanesh in the total? They're yours, but they're sort of part of the Say Hi Paul collective because we are a collective. I don't know. Do they count for that? I don't know.
We'll add it up. What's your oldest army? James asks.
The oldest army, or the army with the oldest model in it? The oldest army are my Blood Angels. When I got back, so when I first did the hobby, when I was in my mid-teens, I got basically one of everything for a number of armies that I really liked. And then I did the thing where you paint one model in the unit, and yeah, that looks excellent, and you spend however long doing it, and you look at the other 9 and go, I cannot be asked to paint those as well. So you've got like 10 painted models in the army, and the rest of it's unpainted. And it wasn't until the mid-2000s when I made a New Year's resolution never again to play with an unpainted army or against an unpainted army. That entirely stopped. So when I came back to the hobby, I had lots of bits that were unpainted. And when there were a few of us got back into it after playing Dawn of War on the PC, and GW were running an event at Warhammer World called Dark Stars, a narrative campaign, and we decided we all decided we were going to go, and you had to book your tickets in advance. They were obviously for a specific faction. Now, I wanted to play Tau because there was something about the aesthetic that I really enjoyed. I'm not even going to dignify that with a comment.
You've got to. You've got to.
I totally don't.
You do. You do.
I'd have to answer, though. Moog's Little Figures has super chatted. When are you going to play Horus Heresy? I'm watching you.
The answer is very soon.
Thank you, Moog. Much appreciated and very funny. Whole pounds. But there were far fewer Tau tickets, and I wasn't. The thing was, because of when the event was, and when the tickets went on sale, there wasn't enough time to find out what ticket I was getting and then paint the army. I had to plump for an army and start painting it in order to get it all ready on time. So rather than take the risk of a Tau one, I went for an Imperial one and built my Blood Angels, which I then took to the Dark Stars event and had a lot of fun at. A lot of fun indeed.
I think we should clear this up. So, obviously, Major Ringsting is saying about the Horus Heresy. Should probably clear it up for anyone else who's never heard us talk about Horus Heresy. No, really, it's only fair.
Why? Why is it fair? Life isn't fair.
Because I said, and I'm the one with the pen and the pad and everything.
Well, as it's you asking, I haven't got enough brain power for another system that complicated, and the setting doesn't appeal to me because it's all happened in the past and has very limited applications for narrativeness. And if I narrative,
oh, what's just happened?
You put the sound on your laptop somehow.
Oh, wait a minute, we don't want sound on. Oh, thank you. Sorry.
And it's another rabbit hole and another 25 armies I'd end up buying and painting. Buying and partly painting. That is why.
Okay, you got anything else in Discord?
No, Discord is quiet as a mouse. No one has put anything on today? I mean, we're getting back into it, and I guess a lot of people wouldn't have known whether we were having one tonight or not.
No,
and yeah,
I just didn't want to miss anyone.
Mick the Machine, super chats. Any plans to play Necromunda? Oh, you dick!
Oh, you went there. You said it. No.
A lot.
If anybody else wants to super chat for the fine.
I mean, I've got some Necromunda, and it's just right here. I would love to play some Necromunda. I don't have the bandwidth. There might be this year some Warcry, but that'll be someone teaching me to play Warcry. Necromunda, maybe at some point. At some point, I don't know. Maybe when I've done all the AOS armies and the 40k armies, maybe I'll move on to Munda.
Lee B says, what's the best way to get into AOS lore? Are there any good novels?
There are lots of good models. Lots of novels. Lots of good novels. It just depends which bit you're interested in, really. And it depends how prolifically you consume the novels. I started with Soul Wars, but I gave up on it a number of times before I got all the way through it because I didn't have enough context of the game world to really take it in. Which is disappointing because when I listened to it after I got into it, it was really good. So it depends how prolifically you consume books. But what I later then did was went back to the Realm Gate Wars, the Gates of Azir, which is the first book. And if you listen to the Realm Gate series, it layers up lots of lore on top of that. But that's pretty much all about Stormcast and Chaos, because that's when they did AOS. That's where they started. That's the model line they had. And there are bits and bobs about other races in there, but it's principally about that. They're all quite good. Later on, they start to go in any which way and direction. I haven't listened to any of the Lumineth ones because they do not appeal to me. And there was one. What was it called? I think it was called The Blind King. Is that right?
You're thinking a Lion King.
No, not so much. To do with the Idoneth Deepkin, which I didn't get all the way through because it didn't appeal to me. But other than that, I haven't listened to a bad one. They're all really good. Just depending on any one that you pick, might be there might be gaps in from a lore perspective. One really good one is Gloomspite. That's a very good book. Doesn't have much of the wider world of AOS in it, but has a lot about Gloomspite Gits and is really sinister. It's like a sort of gothic horror book. It's very good. You've listened to what was it called? The first one that you had that you really enjoyed. It's not The Blood of Cain. It was.
No. It's gone out of my head.
Let's see. It'll be in my list in Audible.
It's in my list in Audible.
Black Talon's quite a good book. So Scourge of Fate. I'm just reading them all out now. They're all good. Arkanauts Oath, Overlords of the Iron Dragon. They're good. The Hollow King. That's good. Ghoul Slayer, Soul Slayer, Git Slayer, Realm Slayer. They're all good. Silver Shard, Covens of Blood.
Covens of Blood. Yeah, you got there before me.
That's good. I haven't really. I found a bad one, really. We have another super chat from Murph. What's
Dynasty of Monsters?
Oh, that's the what?
That's the one I've got now.
That's a vampire one set in Gur.
Yeah,
that's good. That's
good.
It
is good.
Are you started again?
Yeah. That's what I've got at the minute in the car.
Merv super chatted. What's the best thing about Hero Quest? I never played Hero Quest. It was before my time as a board game when I was little, and came back in a brain crashed, buffering. Never played Hero Quest, the current version or the older version. I'm afraid it's not something I can particularly comment on. Played Space Crusade about 10 years ago. No. Yeah, Space Crusade about 10 years ago with some friends. That was good fun. Similar style, I think. The best thing about that kind of game is the notion of just sort of running into a room full of baddies and starting to hack them to bits and knowing your character might not live through it. And there's just because you got blown up, grenaded, then shot a lot.
I did.
You did.
I did, but
wrong place, wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong time. But I was for anybody who does play Shadowrun, I did get a lot of karma. To be fair, which I'm going to use wisely. But anyway.
Yeah.
Lee B's just put in there that thanks, Paul. I think he'll start with the Stormcast Eternals lore.
Aren't they the heroes that continually die and are brought back to life? Sounds cool.
Yeah.
So the general gist with the Stormcast Eternals is the sort of the background plot that you kind of get hit, that the first book explains, but if you sort of go to the AOS homepage, this is sort of what you get. Is that Chaos were winning the War of the Realms, and
Chaos were winning the War of the Realms. I could be a narrator.
And Sigmar decides that it's not a war he can win, so he retreats to Azir, which is the realm of heavens, and collapses all the gates that go between realms. He then spends hundreds of years building up an army, and what he does is he scours the realms for worthy and potent souls and snatches them away at the moment before their death, and then with the dwarven smith god Grungi reforges them into Stormcast Eternals and imbues them with lightning, and they don't necessarily remember everything about their prior lives, and where the first book starts is when he's built all the war hosts and starts reconquering the realms. So they have to try and rebuild effectively one of the realm gates that was collapsed to form a beachhead, and that's what that first book's all about. When they die, their souls flash back into lightning and head back to Azir, where they get remade on the Anvil of Apotheosis. And the first series of books, there's a lot of stuff in. There's a narrative undercurrent in there about what happens each time they die, which is very good. So,
I just want to go back to a question that was when you had to pop out that says, just bear with me, just talk amongst yourselves. Just trying to find it. Yeah, okay. So, hello, Master Paul. Would it be possible to get a video ramble from you on how to make narrative AOS armies? I like the little bit in your last vlog, but kind of want more. Pretty please, bless.
Whoa, okay. Yes.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
The answer is yes. We'll do a Stormcast Eternal vlog, ramble. Now, I did do one quite a while ago, about what I'd learned first time around, but I've learned so much more since then. So I think, yes, we should put that on the list. Let's do that.
Definitely. Yeah.
Let's do that. Okay, and on that happy note, can we go to thank yous? Because it is going. My first thank you, that one. Thank you, that one, for doing all the stuff.
Doing all the
stuff.
For covering badly while you had to pop out.
Yes, for talking cake.
Okay. First of all, thanks for the likes. The likes went up, which is great. 27. It's always good to see the likes. It just proves that you're doing your job.
Well, quite.
Doesn't it? So thank yous for super chats to Mick. More than once. Thank you. SDF Goodall. Am I saying that right? SDF Goodall. And Moog and Murph. Super chats. Thank you. And for people that use their membership chat comments, I was just saying which is not easy to say, by the way, when you went out, that we've got like Moog, Kev, 26 months, Mick, 26 months, James Wood, 22 months, Murph, 13 months, and Wolf Corgi at 16 months. It's just brilliant, I think.
Absolutely.
I think it's amazing. It's, yeah.
Well, your ongoing support is fantastically appreciated.
And it really does. It really does cheer us up. We really got, we really missed everybody over Christmas, didn't we? It was really weird. Like, what do you do with your Tuesdays? You know, you should be doing something, but everything was just so mental. And we thought you also might be busy as well. So that's what we did. So thank you. Get well soon to Chantel. And we're hoping that we've got all us fingers crossed for Murph, who wants to get a negative test. Not pregnancy, COVID.
That very important distinction to make.
We've got us fingers crossed for you, Murph. Let us know. Let us know when you're not toxic. It could come over, have some food.
And on that happy note.
Oh, Mick was ill at Christmas. Are you better, Mick? Because if you do need me to come round with my Vicks Sinex to rub on your chest, I am more than happy to do so. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Bastard.
Yeah, so you like. Okay, well, on that note, we'll close there. Thank you all very much for your ongoing support. It is much appreciated. Hope you're all having a good new year. And we will see you in the next one. Say bye, Crimson.
Bye, Crimson.
Bye. Bye.